Start it up. Welcome back to the MBH podcast. Money buys happiness. No more me saying what fucking episode it is. This guy's trying to blast me. Dean's saying another thing. I don't know. I don't even know what it is anymore.
You just keep fucking it up.
You don't even know which episode. So like, stop saying
All right, listen. It's an attack on me today. Fuck you guys. We're here. Not Marc Anthony. Marc Anthony. Okay. By the way, the episode fucked up. We're restarting. That's why there's less energy. But the energy is still here.
The energy is very
Okay.
here.
Is it Marc Anthony? Not Marc Anthony.
My name's Marc Anthony, but I did not Marc Anthony to play on the whole real Marc Anthony. So when you type in my name, you're gonna find him first for like 90 pages of Google, and then his fake accounts on Instagram. Yeah, if you do not Marc Anthony, you'll find me first,
And then him second.
It's just a Google play.
All right.
Google Play, Google SEO.
But I've been booked as him like multiple times to do like singing gigs.
Are you
No
serious?
way.
Dude, I got booked to fucking sing at a church as Marc Anthony.
No.
But
100%.
Did you do it?
I did it, and I got on stage to do stand-up at this church, and the band is like, "You ready? 1, 2, 3." And they started playing. I was like, "No."
No way.
I
So
swear to
they
God.
thought you were Marc Anthony.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, at what point I'm 300 fucking pounds? Like, at what point were you like, and you paid me $300? And Marc Anthony would have not have agreed to this. Like, this
That's
is
amazing.
Yeah, and I had to perform in this church. They're like, okay, well, do stand up. But it's like, the guy who booked me off stage and the whole audience was learning, and me all at the same time, that I wasn't going to sing.
You okay?
In the middle of a whole singing show to do stand up. Disaster.
Damn.
Holy 5 minutes of just
So now you
eating
make
shit.
it clear, I'm not that Marc Anthony.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm this Marc Anthony.
I should add that.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess we don't really have to intro you then. Comedian, content creator,
Yeah.
part-time church singer.
Yeah,
when
part-time
you
church
need
singer.
to.
That's
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah,
It's a good
part-time
bio.
eater. We should keep
We're
adding
happy
things.
to have you, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for having
yeah.
me, man. This is
I love
great.
the, I
Yeah.
love the jacket.
Adidas
Very
Originals.
This guy came in hot, eh?
I look
Came
like a
in
fucking
fresh.
fire truck.
Let's talk about just a bit about your past.
Okay.
Okay, and how you got into being a comedian.
Sure.
Maybe when the fuck did you find out you were funny?
That's a tough one.
Right?
I'm acting like I've never been asked that before.
That's a good way.
That's a good way. I went to the Humber comedy program. Have you guys ever heard of that? Yeah, so I
Yeah.
did that, and they kind of forced me to do stand-up because back in the day I was like, okay, I was always writing like funny ideas like Mike Myers and Jim Carrey and shit. I'm like, okay, how can I, hone this into something? So went there, and then they force you to do stand-up, which I never thought was a thing. I'm like, buddy, school speeches would like
Yeah.
stress me out,
Just
and I'm like,
fucking
I was
shaky.
never about that. And then did stand-up, and I was like, that was that one thing where it like really connected, where I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I found it here.
Yeah. Cool.
And I just went all in from there and been doing stand-up for the past 10 years, and yeah.
And what was your first stand-up experience like?
Brutal. It's on YouTube right now.
Oh my god, we gotta
You
check
can-
that after.
Do
We'll pull
not
it up. We're
check
gonna
that
pull
out.
it up.
I'm pretty sure I unlisted it, but it's there, I think. Yeah, it was about trick-or-treating. That's what it was about. It was about like, because I grew up in an area where it was like everyone was like a different nationality in my neighborhood. So like what every immigrant was kind of giving.
we go.
Whereas like the Russian guy was always giving like just full cans of pop, like it was just cases of pop to kids. And like my Indian neighbor would make like cereal pouches, like Ziploc bags of just cereal, like
Like pour the box into a mini bag. And
into like a Ziploc
Come
bag
on.
of just Fruit Loops and just
this
everybody.
serious? Are
I
you
swear to God,
serious?
I swear to
Yeah.
God. And my Asian neighbor would always, she used to babysit me after school because my mom and dad would work late. So I'd come off the bus, chill at her house, watch like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and then head home. And she gave me like, she's like, you always, I shouldn't do the accent, but I'm going to. She'd always be like, you have no pencil, you have no eraser, I'm going to hook you up with school supply. Like, because me and my brother go there, and she gives my brother like, Reese's Pieces and things like this, and then me, it was like a Scholastics like eraser, calculator, fucking pencils. She's like, you never have school stuff, you don't care about school. I'm like, you're right, I don't. So that was my first set, kind of like just bouncing around of all the accents in my neighborhood and trick-or-treating shit. It was great. Like I feel like I blacked out. Like I don't remember being on stage doing it.
Yeah.
And then I watched the video, and I was like, man, I'm crushing steady. Like I was getting laughs the whole time, and I was like, the energy was crazy. And like I said, it was like, okay, I feel like I found what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And just went.
You weren't nervous or anything like that?
Oh, buddy, I was dying.
Yeah?
I was dying. I was drenched. I was just like, just sweating like
What-
crazy.
Like as a stand-up, what are you doing when you get up there to kind of be less nervous? I know there's this picture everyone naked or
I always hear
stare
it's like
stare at the back.
I always
or
hear it's like
whatever.
the first laugh. Like as soon as you get kind of your first laugh, then you're like, okay, like I got something here.
Like they try to tell you, like, you know, at Humber when they're teaching, like you got to have some icebreakers just to get these quick little things, because like right away, like you get up there, everyone's dissecting you, what you're wearing, if you have a bulge, like if your fucking hair's fucked up, like anything, right? Like people are just ripping you apart and like kind of like, okay, make me laugh sort of thing. So you kind of got to like break the barrier, and then once, like you said, once you get a few laughs and they like it, like, okay, let's hear what he has to say, and then you get into the longer shit and whatever. But there's no trick to, you know, the nervousness. I'm sweating every time. Like,
So I guess up until the pandemic, you were doing stand-up shows.
yeah. Even during the pandemic, we've been doing a ton of like online Zoom shows, which are like the worst thing in the world. But yeah,
That's tough, man. I mean,
it's terrible. Bunch of black squares.
So, what have you found the differences? I mean, obviously, it's a big physical aspect, but going online now, you're obviously killing it online with the content. You're making everyone die, including myself.
Appreciate
with
that.
all the different accents and just the types of setting that you guys work in. What's been kind of the feedback from being in stand-up to just kind of focusing just online right now?
Here's the thing, because of the pandemic, like no one really knew I was doing Zoom shows. Like it's all like corporate stuff, you know what I mean? It's like I come and perform for, you know, like a lunch day for the neighborhood. It's like I come perform for you guys through Zoom. Everyone tunes in, so it's all in like a corporate setting.
Okay.
I tried to promote it, but it's like I wasn't doing like, hey, come on my Zoom tonight at 9, I'm gonna do an hour. Like I was never doing that shit. So like I said, it's like, so to my regular audience or followers, I have no presence. So it's like, okay, either have no presence or be like, hey, I can still be funny in these ways. That you're like, okay, who can I impersonate? What can I do? Just start working on shit and start climbing the following. You know what I mean?
And I've seen it grown. Like, I mean, we more recently follow each other, but like, I think I found you when the whole like Doug Ford thing started, and I actually want to get into that because we hate Doug Ford, or at least I shouldn't speak for everybody.
No, we hate Doug Ford.
We
all hate Doug Ford.
Yeah, he's a loser.
I can't say it because in case he calls me
you're
over
kind
to
of
his
like
office.
you're his like doppelganger at this point. So
Exactly. Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, how the fuck did that? When did you come up with that? How'd you come up with it?
I was with Austin. He's the guy who plays Trudeau.
Big shout out Austin.
Yeah, shout out to Austin. And we were just jamming on joke ideas and stuff. And like we saw Doug do an announcement, and it was just a disaster. And he was like, I'm like, I feel like he just wants to be that, you know, upset uncle at the cottage. He's like, don't be smoking by the dock, like, you know, whatever. Like, don't put the freaking butts in the water. Like the ducks are gonna die. Like, you kids are killing me. Like shit like that, right? And I would keep doing that, and like we would just be dying. And I'm like, and we're like, dude, we have to do this, right? So I was like, let me like write some sample shit where he's always talking about food, and like took that characteristic of like how he's this angry uncle at his nephews, and we're all his nephews, and just blew it up. So like I know the impression's not that great, but it's like the character's good. You know what I mean? So like I think Trudeau's more closer to Trudeau, and like everyone's impressions are more closer to the actual person. But I was like, okay, but I'm trying to represent what he wants to actually say, because he always seems so like, oh yeah, and we're doing like, you know, like he just wants to be like, for fuck's sake, like, would you just?
See it in him. He just wants to
explode and be this like fat Canadian cottage goer. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me be that guy. So and it was taken off, and I did a couple of like 1-minuters on Instagram, and they were just popping off like crazy, doing better than everything else. I was like, okay, let's.
The impersonation is something you like to do, I guess, right? It's part of your.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, ever since my first stand-up, I'd like always doing accents, impersonating people, and you know, in the whole class clown.
That's such an easy way to relate to the mass, right? And trying to connect with different people, right? Different accents, different cultures, right?
Yeah.
So when you're impersonating someone, do you like? What's the process behind it? Are you researching them? Are you trying to go through videos of them, see how they talk?
Yeah, it's usually just like I just listen to you over and over again, and like in my head I'm just like building you in my head. You know what I mean? So I just keep piecing little like nuances that you have and just go from there. You know what I mean?
And what's the feedback been on like that, like those skits, like the like
all
the
there's been some people that have been hating on it.
So many, like I have a lot of comics coming towards me being like, okay, this impression fucking sucks. Okay? This, you don't sound like him, you don't move like him, this, and then I have to give that whole explanation and be like, okay, but impressions are one of two things. It's either you're exact or you're like an exaggeration of his characteristics. And I have to explain that. I'm like, the fact that I have to explain this to you guys and you're fucking comedians like makes me sick.
100%.
But, you know, and then there's some people who are like just blowing up my DMs being like, the fucking Ford government's a joke. What are you talking about? Like, you're endorsing this idiot? And I'm like, I'm clearly, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care, man. Like,
it's not, you're not making it political.
yeah, and everyone just go, once you take on a political role, they just assume that you're on Team
Certain
Blue
side.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is ridiculous.
I mean, I would look at it and be like, this guy's roasting Doug, so he's on the other side.
That's how I saw it.
Right,
That's
and
how
I get
saw
that
it.
too. I get people like because I post it on Facebook groups where it's like the "fuck you Doug Ford" group,
Oh, love that.
and then the "we love Doug Ford."
you wanna
group.
get both?
I get both. I'm
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah,
going
yeah.
everywhere where people are Doug Fording
Yeah.
it, and I just you know, so I give it to them, and they.
So you don't let that
consume-
shit affect you too much. I mean,
Well, it's like. Number one, I'm not going to stop doing the impression.
Yeah.
Like I'm overdoing it a little bit right now, just because it's super
I
topical.
mean, Doug Ford is overdoing it, to be honest.
Exactly.
So
Every
you can
3
match
days.
that.
Yeah.
You
I
can
might
match that.
say something tomorrow. I might not.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday, but then Friday.
Yeah.
Push it back. We're gonna open. We're not. It's like, so it's like, and that's why I'm overdoing it on purpose. And
Yeah.
people are like, dude, you got to dial it back. I'm like, dude, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
Like, fuck
yeah.
off.
Yeah. It's like,
Especially
you
at these
post
times.
something. You know.
Yeah, especially at these times when everything's just so like depressing and fucking sad, and these guys are these politicians are coming out just with bad news every day. Like,
Yeah.
we need a laugh.
Yeah,
we need a
that's-
fucking laugh, especially laugh at them in a way too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love it, bro. I think your impersonation is on point.
I love
it's
it.
the
Thanks,
best one
man.
I've seen.
I appreciate it.
I haven't seen too many Dougs though out there.
Yeah,
but
that's. I just try and look at myself and go, okay, who do I look like? And I just, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
Holy
it's
fuck,
like when I
bro.
do Gordon Ramsay, like I don't look like Gordon Ramsay,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, you know,
tough.
everyone's
Does it
like,
hit
do
the
James
same?
Corden, and I'm like, because every day someone's like, you know, who you look like. I'm like, yeah, I know who I look like. Like I
Trust me,
look
I
at
know.
me more than me, like, more than you. Sorry,
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, I don't know. You guys must get the same. Like just people blowing up your DMs, being like,
oh,
you're
why are you
this.
saying this?
But
Or why are you doing this?
I don't
or,
get it.
Well, the thing
It's,
is,
it's both. It's love and it's hate, right?
Yeah.
So we take the love and we'll just like.
I
the
think
hate's
they
gonna
hate too,
come.
bro.
Yeah.
Like we're funny. Me and this guy, we have notifications when Six Buzz posts.
Yeah.
So we can be like the first comments on there.
Nice.
And
That's a good
we,
idea.
And we
Huge.
just bro, it's great for engagement. Like I know for me, I know him too, but I just say the most fucking crazy shit on there, bro. Like I don't give a flying fuck. I'll say whatever just to get the likes, get people fired up, and then it gets serious, dude. People are like either laughing at what you're saying or like people go as far as to be like, oh, slide in the DM, bro, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Dude.
Wait, why? Why?
Yeah,
It's the
same
internet.
thing.
It's the internet,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And
Especially
that-
for comedians, it must be tough. Like,
And I love it when it's like, you know, you'll get a DM, then it's like 3 paragraphs of hatred. And
Yeah.
you click their profile, it's like 30 followers, no profile pic. You're like, buddy, you're a duck.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there's a squirrel in the biopic.
yeah, you're like, get out of here,
And,
man.
and it goes like Western 2023 or something like that. And you're just like, a squirrel.
Follows
going
nobody.
Follows nobody.
Has 3 followers, mom, dad, son. You're like, this is
Person
a
actually
ridiculous.
might kill me though.
Yeah, exactly. You're
person
like,
actually
you know a
might
lot. You fucking like everything that I'm posting. This is ridiculous. So-
What I'm curious about is now more on the social side of things. Obviously, you made the transition during the pandemic to kind of come more on the social content creation side of it. You're posting pretty often, and I know your content is a little more long format than than other comedians or content creators. So I want to touch on that a little bit and kind of see, what you do to kind of set yourself up to be still so consistent on socials. You know, what the work that goes behind it and what it takes to, right? Because you're not just posting fucking 20-second videos, like you said.
Yeah.
Like your shorter stuff's like a minute.
Yeah.
Your Doug stuff, whatever, go 5-10 minutes,
There's
right?
production, but you could tell there's production.
Yeah,
behind it.
I'm curious to know, like from your end, how do you make sure like you're staying consistent online? What do you do? What are some things you do, right? Because a lot of people that watch us are content creators, and they're always looking for kind of tips on how they can stay consistent.
And they get burned out sometimes too.
Dude, I don't even have an answer for that. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I just,
Yeah.
it's hard because something new comes out. Like,
Yeah.
for example, TikTok, and then you're like, okay, fuck, I got to adapt to this
Yeah.
platform. And then Instagram goes, fuck TikTok, you can do that
Reels,
here. And you're
yeah.
like, well, fuck, So you're always having to adapt, and then you're like, okay, do I appeal to this market or not?
Yeah.
Should I try? And you got to kind of figure out your own end game. So for me, it's like, okay, my biggest problem is, if you're going to put that much production value behind it and that much effort, you got to be able to try to monetize it.
Yeah.
That's why I've been going more YouTube long form.
Of course.
YouTube favors things that are long form. So I'm
Yep.
like, okay, I'm going to keep driving people to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Then me and Austin got together. Now we're doing a joint YouTube channel. Things
Oh,
like
amazing.
that. Yeah. So
I
we're
saw
trying
you guys
to.
launched that recently.
Yeah,
right?
just launched it recently. Jesus, just launched it recently with the long
Recently,
weekend. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
That's a real WAP.
Just launched it recently. Like everything's a jumble. One sentence is one word. Watch recently on our YouTube channel. So we have that long weekend sketch, whatever, because YouTube favors long form, and so we try to. And Instagram is more made for photos and smaller shit and reels. So you just got to just constantly be adapting and be like, whatever, just be in touch. I'm sure Nima touched upon this, but like, shout out to Nima. But just, he actually helped me out a lot, just following what your followers like and see what works, and just keep, you know, you kind of keep finding the journey and the line of what works and what doesn't, and keep while adapting at the same time. It's like there's no real.
I guess it's tough for you guys, right? Because, and for any content creator, because it's like you said, even outside of like the new platforms that come along, and then they're fighting each other for things like trends, like a trend can fucking pop up in a day, in a fucking second, and all of a sudden it's like, now who's gonna be the first one to hop on that trend in their industry, or, you know, to show their followers this trend, right? So I feel like that's always a big thing. But you fucking killed, like, you hopped on the Doug Ford thing like right away. I felt like
I had no
choice.
I was like, no one's doing Doug. The way I kind of thought about it, like, okay, if there was an SNL in Toronto, what would be happening, right? Like, what characters, what impressions, what way we look, you know what I mean? Like, everyone makes fun of the Toronto mans and all that shit. It's like, okay, that's being covered by fucking everybody. All right, you know, people impersonate Drake and all these people, so it's like there's no political figures being impersonated. I was like, I look like Doug. I'm not going to do a Justin Trudeau. You know, it's like, I can, but I'm not going to. It's just, it would look fucked up. I look like, you know, I look like.
I got to see that one thing, by the way.
Whatever. It's like I'm wearing a wig and I'm like, whatever, standing outside of my house, whatever the case is, like, I would look stupid, and they'd be like, Justin gained weight. So whatever. I'm like, I've got to do Doug and just push it and just figure out all these. I was going to do a Maddie Matheson. That's potentially coming up too. But again, it's like, fuck, with Doug, getting my hair doesn't even look like him. I can't find a wig. I can't find blonde spray. I'm not gonna bleach my hair. You know, if I do Maddie Matheson,
maybe you should.
Exactly.
You spoke about even how you kind of differentiate your comedic form depending on the platform, or like you said, even those Zoom ones. How do you kind of manage that side of things? How do you make sure that, okay, these jokes are a bit different, they're catered to like a corporate setting?
Right.
Speak on that a little bit. I think that's interesting.
I mean, I feel like all comedians, like, you have your niche or you don't kind of thing. But in terms of making money, like, you have to view it like a business and be like, okay, well, if I'm on TV and corporates and TV pay the most, you got to be ready for that. So, you know, you got to try to write for that. So, like, if I'm doing the clubs versus a corporate setting, I know that, okay, I've got to axe out the fucks and the shits and the dicks and then whatever. And then also, like, you know, I have a joke about my grandmother where she talks about her vagina. Okay. And then I know that I switch that. You know what I mean? Like, I take that part out and I know what to fill it with. So it's like, you have your joke and you adapt it. You have a clean version, a dirty version. And
that's just experience. So you learning from it, right?
Yeah. You just have to be able to be a chameleon and adapt. If you can't, then you just become more and more niched, and then you just are in that lane only, you know?
And what do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy more of the, like, have you found yourself to enjoy more of the content stuff, or like, are you just praying for this shit to go back to normal and do more stand-up?
A little bit of both, like, only because stand-up is like what my living has been for the past so many years, right? And like, I always wanted to do the content stuff and make money online and be more of an influencer type deal, and but it's so much time and effort, and it's like, fuck, you're on the road consistently, and you're, like you said, it's like, oh, I got to do an hour here, then drive 12 hours like in Alberta somewhere. Fuck, I got to go from Calgary to Fort St. John, drive this whole way, the next day do another hour. It's like, there's no time, right? And it's like, you got to make sure you're adapting material wise. So it's like, how can you really do both?
So you've just because now you're saying fucking Alberta, bro, this place, that place.
Sorry.
No.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say I guess you've traveled Canada.
Yeah, Canada, parts of the U.S., parts of the U.K. I was gonna go to Asia and do a big Asia tour, and then COVID happened, and what are you gonna do? COVID, right?
How are the stand-up, I guess, venues finding these comedians? Because I'm looking into the future now, and I'm thinking that they're gonna find them on TikTok.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. It's like, if you don't, a lot of people. Jesus.
A lot of people
fucking, they do this shit. How do they get noticed? But it's like, just for laughs, for example, like, you'll see guys bypass the clubs and like working their ass off as a stand-up and just go right, just for laughs, would be like, oh, you're huge. I know people are going to buy tickets. So it becomes a ticket sales thing.
That's
It's
what
like,
I'm saying.
we bring Ernesto down to JFL. People are going to come because he's got the phone. He'll be like, hey, guys, I'm over here.
Yeah.
They're going to come
So
and
now it's
do
like
show.
the build-up's different now. Now it's like you can start online almost.
Yep.
And end up in a stand-up situation.
And it's crazy because Dane Cook did that like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, but now things are so different where you got to be able to be doing
Dane
both.
Cook, that's a crazy throwback.
Yeah, fuck, guy's like 50.
Yeah.
And and he was
you're
on
right.
MySpace and he like sold out the fucking Gardens like 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
Just from being online.
Damn.
It's crazy, dude.
Because
It's
now,
actually
like,
crazy.
if you're a younger kid right now, you're 18, 19, 20, and you're looking to be a comedian, it's like just start online at this
The
point.
thing is, I feel like now a young kid is not gonna say like I want to be a comedian. Like they're gonna say I want to be a content creator, and their content is comedy. Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's kind of the change now. But is that happening? Like are clubs like Just for Laughs and stuff, and these guys finding content, finding them online?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And here's the thing: there's like the older you get, the more you go to where the money is. Unfortunately, so like when you're younger, you're like I'm gonna do unboxing videos. Like, and if you're not making money, it's like whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Whereas the older you get, you're like fuck, I gotta survive.
Yeah.
So comedy pays right away, so you always go to where that goes.
Of course.
Yeah.
But with going back to like Just for Laughs and big festivals and stuff, they take these guys that are gonna sell tickets, even clubs. If you can sell tickets and put people in seats, you're a big deal. So you're dumb to not have a social presence, whether it's a podcast or whatever the case may be.
Of course.
But then you get to the next problem, which is, can you handle that?
Yeah.
Are you a stand-up? Can you hold my attention for an hour? You know, the art form of stand-up is a totally different game.
course.
So if you
Okay.
can't, you know what I mean? If you can't do both and you can't be on stage for an hour, you're never going to Just
Real
Laughs
life,
again.
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's happened. I've seen it happen where like
course.
the guy gets booked, selling out. Okay, man, go do 40 minutes. And it's like,
He's
you
used to
can't-
30-second reels.
yeah, you can't edit your shit up here.
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean?
You can't add
gotta,
sound. You can't add a filter. Yeah.
You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
I guess that's the beauty of it that I think can't be matched online, right? It's the physical form of it.
Yeah, and that in-person energy can't
course.
really be recreated, which is why stand-up sucks on Zoom. It's like I can't
I was just
know
about
how you're
to say.
feeling, you know?
The energy is different when
And
you're
with the
in front of the person.
The black squares too don't help, I'm sure.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you're like, is anyone even fucking in there? You know?
Do people actually tune on? They show their faces though?
Yeah, it's like, and sometimes you go, okay, guys, we're gonna have the mics on, but I have the power to mute you if you're fucking making eggs in the background. You know what I mean? Whatever. Like, or if your dog's an idiot.
Yeah.
So you know,
Your dog's an idiot.
yeah, people are fucked, dude.
That's dope. I mean, you're building your online presence right now. Has that given you a lot more opportunity?
For sure.
Compared to, let's say, the old-fashioned way of doing things, maybe reaching out to these stand-up venues. I don't know if you have an agent or something that does shit for you.
No, I've been totally independent.
Solo.
Yeah, since
Damn,
day
good
for
one.
you. That's sick.
Well, it's like there's just not enough work in the country.
Yeah.
So like Yuck Yucks, for example, will be like, hey, come be a part of our roster, but you can only do our clubs. And it's like, okay, well, you don't have enough clubs to pay me enough throughout the year. And then it's like, if I'm in Alberta at the Yuck Yucks, I can't go and do the road there and make more
while you're
money.
there, yeah.
It's like you're inhibiting me from making more money.
Also, they try to get you exclusive.
Exactly.
lock
They try
that
to get,
in.
and it's like there's not enough work, so you can't really,
Yeah.
you know, even though they do a lot on the back end, like business wise, to really make sure, like CRTC laws and stuff, to make sure Canadians and content can flourish and stuff. But yeah, you can't.
So, as a comedian, I mean, what would be your end goal to all this? Like, where are you trying to be? Where are you trying to take this?
I'm hoping I can do both. I can have the stand-up game be, you know, at least at a Netflix special area,
amazing.
and you know,
Let's go.
myself be wherever, like a, you know, a Jack Black or something. I don't know, like somewhere where I'm, you know, in movies or
dope.
sketches or something, right?
You know
That's
what?
dope.
I'm curious. I wanna ask you this because I've been. I think was it Chris Tucker who recently came on like Breakfast Club, and they were talking about you know, the whole just cancel culture as a
it's Chris
whole.
Rock. It's Chris Rock.
Chris
Yeah,
Rock. And so you've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what your thoughts on that are because
Oh, here we go, bro.
Yeah,
This is
let's
it.
get it. No, because it's
Mute me for a second. Okay.
I hate cancel culture. I think it's one of the worst things that has happened to society in the last, whenever the fuck it started. It just feels like it's been going on forever now. But then it's even crazier when comedians can start to become canceled. Like you guys
that's one thing you can't cancel,
You guys
like-
flirt with that line of like shit you can and can't say as a regular everyday person. but it's a fucking comedy show. Like, you're a comedian. It's what you do. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna get. This is my opinion. I'm gonna let you talk on this. I'm curious.
I like hearing other people's opinions that like aren't stand up specifically. It intrigues me a little bit because, you know, I've fought with family members about this where they're like, you did an accent, you're a racist, you should be canceled and not get paid. And I'm like, that idea that someone can lose their job over something they said blows my mind. It's like, it's an opinion. It's not like, and I think politicians are different. Like the whole thing is intention based. So like politicians can actually change laws and make sure that if you're this, you can't this, right? And change your life. Whereas like, if I have an opinion on what should be taught in schools at what age, which I'm referring to something very specific that just happened. Like he lost his job. It's like, I don't think that's right. He's stating an opinion. You're going to just ruin this guy's livelihood. It's like, you don't have to do anything he says. He can't change nothing. This teacher went on and saying that they shouldn't be teaching transgendered stuff. Like grades 1, 2, and 3 or something like that, like very young ages. He's like, the curriculum needs to be updated in so many ways. Why are we just
focusing on that?
Transgender and sexuality stuff is blowing past everything and just slotting it right into there. It's like, I'm not saying don't teach it eventually. I'm saying to the young kids who can't even fucking stack blocks, you're jamming this into their fucking heads. And
but it's true, it's facts.
And because he said that, he loses his job. It's like, he shouldn't lose his job because of that, is my opinion. Is he right or wrong on the subject? Again, that would be my opinion. I don't think that should be taught at that age because they don't even understand what that is. So it's like, you're just convoluting their brains across the board with a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, let their brains even develop first. And then be like, hey,
let them catch a Pokemon first.
Here's your fucking options eventually, you know? So,
but that's a fucking teacher. Like, going back to like comedians, like, it's insanity.
No, like I said, it's intention. Like, comedians can't change your fucking life in terms of alter it physically like politicians can. And every comedian's intention is to make you laugh and put you in a good place. If they don't, that's a you problem, right? And sure, there's comics out there that I'm sure say the N-word and, you know, are racist pieces of shit, whatever, but they have a niche. They sell out fucking arenas.
100%.
Let the people go to where they're going to go. And I think the pendulum is going to swing back a little bit and level out in terms of the whole cancel culture and society thing, because there's all these sub niches. So it's like, the far left and the far right are saying you can't this and you can't that. It's like, okay, both sides want to be able to voice opinions. So then you're going to create all these sub niches again, right? And then it just comes out to like, I can go on Twitch and watch a gamer who wears cosplay shit and talks about recipes while sniping people. You can do that if you like that, right? It's like, so you can literally watch and consume whatever the fuck you want. You don't like it, don't consume it. Their intention as comics isn't to piss you off. And if it is, they're doing it on purpose to then rope you back. It's like, life's that serious when you come to a comedy show or whatever. It's like, you don't like one joke, you didn't laugh, okay, you didn't laugh. When you buy the ticket, you're giving up your right to say anything. You don't go to the movies and go, fuck you, Spielberg, you piece of shit, and you're yelling at the screen. It's like, he can't hear you, and even if he could, he'd be like, you don't like the movie? Thanks. Go to the next movie. Like, who cares? It's entertainment,
it's even
right?
sometimes not even opinion, like the opinion you're saying, it's even just the way you're using your platform, because you could bring someone on as a collaboration, and they say something wrong. Now you're getting blasted because you're like, that's how you're using your platform?
Exactly.
But
I'm not a politician.
Thank you. There you go. There you go. And it's like you said, like, even going back to the teacher, whatever, like, to ruin the guy's whole life on an opinion that he has,
it's crazy.
It's insane. The guy's worked his whole life to get there. You're okay. People are okay with canceling this guy to the point where he can't feed his family anymore because of an opinion he has.
I mean, it happened to our good friend Roman Baber.
Happened to our good,
but he's a politician, right? He's a politician again, but he was the only one to say something.
Hold on a second. If the guy brought, it wasn't opinion based though. That's the difference.
Not opinion. No, you're right. You're right.
Do you know Roman Baber? Okay, so he
was the one politician that went against the lockdowns.
He, like, man, in early January, he released a statement to Doug Ford and his party, and he was also a conservative, an MP. With statistics on why the lockdowns don't work. Statistics.
This is like last summer, probably.
No, it was in January.
Oh, January?
And with statistics, numbers from doctors and whatever on why this shit didn't work, and they didn't even respond to him. They just fired him. They just dropped him from the party.
We went to Parliament.
This is why I can't. It's like I really want to do like a vaccine rant right now.
I know,
right? But I don't want to.
We all?
Yeah, right. It's just like they're lying across the board, man. Like, what? It's like, oh, you don't want to conform? Ciao, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I think the issue is you can't even ask.
And that's the
even
problem.
ask.
You can't even have the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you be like, we want this, we want this, we want this. You don't listen, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm against fucking, what do you call it? Dictatorship stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it's the same principles that you're operating on.
You are.
So-
You and we're gonna dive deep here. And Trudeau has a million times, shown his admiration for China and the way that they run their government. So it's like, bro, don't come here and try and pretend this and that. But you guys are liars, bro. You guys are all fucking liars, dude.
They're all lying.
They're showing it. It's not like they're not showing it. They're not even trying to hide it at this point.
What happened to Doug Ford's net worth over COVID? What happened
5
there?
times, baby.
5 times.
No, it was 10x.
He's like Booker
10x.
T, bro.
10x.
5 times. 5 times.
Dude, I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
But
I don't get
listen,
it.
we can go way in on Vax, but bro,
No, I'm definitely not going to. But just the idea of like, if you don't, you're a fucking loser, Ernesto. You're a piece of garbage. No one likes, right? It's like, what is this?
it's a divide, man.
It's a
divide.
society shaming, but don't shame, and you can't shame anybody for anything.
Or
But
the
I
best
can-
is like you have an opinion on one thing, and all of a sudden you're put into this category that's just like, how the fuck did I end up like? Maybe you respect a Trump decision, and all of a sudden you're a fucking
you get
extremist and
stroked.
You're
It's-
done.
That's
Well,
it.
it's like your good buddy Jag Mead said.
Yeah.
The other day he said, if you are one of the people,
anti-maskers.
He said that the anti-maskers and the people who go to these freedom
Anti-lockdown.
rallies, the anti-lockdown rallies, whatever, are linked with white nationalism.
Okay, like,
Where do you come up with that?
dude, I got in a big argument with somebody because I was. I did a show called Buffet Buds where we'd go around eating different food, getting high and eating at these
it's amazing.
buffets and restaurants.
Invite
and
me
whatever.
next time, man.
Yeah,
For real.
did season 1, didn't work because then buffets got closed down because of COVID.
Of
so
course.
we interviewed chefs. We did Adamson Barbecue.
Oh, beauty.
And
Oh,
then
legend.
released the episode right when the Adamson Barbecue shit was like, people are like, oh, so you're a white nationalist?
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, are you fucked? Like, I don't understand how people can be like, don't judge all of us for being a certain way, whether we're this, that, or the other.
But we're gonna judge you.
But we're going to put you into a huge category of being a piece of shit. It's like, dude, you're being a hypocrite either way.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and I don't get it. The cancel culture, I'm not for it.
And-
Short and sweet answer.
Yeah.
I'm not
You can edit all that out if you
You gotta
want.
keep
Just
doing your thing at the end of there's gonna be people that love it and there's gonna be people that hate it. That's just the facts, man. And unfortunately right now it seems like a lot of people are just like nitpicking on things. And I don't know why, because I don't know if it makes them feel better or I don't know if they feel like they're saving people's lives. I don't know. I don't know.
But even when it comes to if you circle back to this whole like cancel culture or whatever in comedy, just in general, like I feel like a big issue is that enough people aren't speaking out from the other side now. Like we're kind of letting it happen. You see what I'm saying? Like
Of course, man.
we're just here on this fucking podcast that maybe gets 500 views, and you know what I mean? And then
because people are scared.
well, that's it, right? We're here talking about it, but it's like, a lot of people in private are saying a lot of the things that we're saying or have certain opinions that they don't want to bring forward, right?
That's where you're going to see a big collapse in mainstream media, because if the mainstream media represents nothing and can't have an opinion because any opinion will upset somebody and then you could lose your job, you're literally going to be looking at a bunch of fucking talking heads talking about literally nothing and avoiding all
the same
subjects.
shit. Yeah.
It's like, okay, well then what? That's why podcasting becomes huge, because people want other people's opinions on things, right? So I don't understand how people can even suggest that you could get fired for that shit, and it's like, it just doesn't make sense.
I was actually I was driving this morning and I was on the radio, and Ron McLean, you know who that is? Yeah, didn't he they tried to cancel him for making a joke, tarps off or something, like, or whatever.
I heard the whole thing.
He made some joke, whatever, and then he had to come and apologize.
Yeah.
And then the dudes on the radio, I think it was 93.5, whatever, they're just like, it's weird how, and I was actually happy to hear this and then see that they were talking about this. The guy on the radio, I think it was Ricochet actually, or whatever.
Probably.
He came on and he's like, it's really weird how like society made a mistake on what Ron McLean was trying to say, and he had to apologize to them for making a mistake.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it goes back to intention. It's like they could, like Don Cherry, he says, you people, and then trans community goes, oh, that's offensive, and he goes, I'm not talking about you, and they're like,
Oh, that's
well,
offensive.
fuck you anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if I clear up what you interpreted,
Yeah.
and you still get upset. That's a you problem.
But they're just
Yeah.
looking for it, though. That's
exactly.
the thing.
It's like you can't get offended at everything. It's like
Yeah.
what's the problem? It's like there's no, like I said, these people aren't actually going out there and harming anybody. Don
Yeah.
Cherry's not Ron McClain, so it's like he makes a joke. He makes a joke.
Yeah.
You don't think it's funny?
He should just
That's not
lose
funny.
viewers, not his fucking job. Like, if
Exactly.
nobody likes
There you
what
go.
he's saying, nobody's going to tune in.
Yeah, but I got respect for him because he said,
Yeah.
bro, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing. If you guys want to fire me, bro, fire me. Luckily, the guy has enough money to be able to say that. Some people
Yeah.
don't. They're not in that position. But I respect the guy. Be like, nah, I didn't
Yeah.
do anything wrong, right? Whatever. Whether you believe he did or didn't, I respect the way he handled the situation and being like, yo, fuck that, right? But
For me,
Even Joe Rogan, coming on.
bro, people,
When
man,
he-
he's
when
more
he-
recent. Like last month, they tried to cancel him for saying how like
I can't
young
cancel
luck.
Joe Rogan,
That's the
brother.
thing.
Yeah.
He's the one guy who's uncancelable. You
Yeah.
cannot.
The guy's
But
the
it's
new,
like,
like,
but he's not a
Carson.
doctor. You can't listen to Joe Rogan. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like we've been listening to many people that aren't doctors. So,
Yeah.
Trump's not a doctor. What the
but
fuck
when
does
Joe
he say?
Rogan says, it's like, oh, but he's not a doctor.
Yeah. See, now people can just take this segment of me going, well, Trump's not a doctor. We'll leave him alone. They're going to be like, oh, Mark's pro-Trump. He's a exactly.
Make the clip, make the reel, send us the reel.
Jump in.
CNN live.
Exactly.
We're done.
Dude, honestly, as a comedian, you have to make the choice. You either have to go, I'm going to say what I want and be true to myself. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself, go
Yeah.
somewhere else and stick to that and
Yeah.
do what you want. Or play the censor game. And I've chosen
But the censor game is really like
boring, bro.
boring.
It's
That's
boring. It's not
That's
you.
why the
It's
other
like-
side gets the most love. You
Yeah,
know?
and again, it's like if I make a trans joke, a gay joke, a black joke, I don't give a shit what you are. It doesn't bother
Yeah.
me. I'm not going out there being like, oh, anti this, anti that, and making sure you can't work, trying
Yeah.
to beat the shit out of you. It's like there's people out there that kill black people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Fucking go cancel those people. Take away
100%.
their missiles or
Yeah.
their guns or their shotgun.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm fucking telling jokes. What
That's
am I
too
going to
much
do to you?
responsibility then. That's too much
Exactly.
responsibility
Yeah,
after.
that's too
Then
much
it's
of
too
a
much
risk.
work.
Exactly.
Too much
Yeah.
work. It's easy. All they could do is send you a DM and just say "fuck you"
Yeah,
from
but-
a robot account.
Yeah.
And they're gonna feel amazing.
Yeah. If I could cancel from my keyboard, I would, but I can't. It's like, well, yeah, exactly. So, like, that's why I get upset where it's like, no one's actually hurting anybody. These comedians, it's like, sure, they could say something really offensive and maybe fuck you up.
Yeah.
And you could be like, hey, you offended me there. I'd be like, I'm sorry you took it that way.
Yeah.
Wasn't my intention.
Wasn't
and
it? It was Patrice O'Neill who said it all comes from the same place. Whether I'm funny or not, it's all coming from I'm trying to make you laugh, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my intention. It's like if you don't laugh, then to you I'm not funny. And that's where art gets convoluted, where it's
Yeah.
like it's so
Yes.
subjective. You can't put these lines in art, and because artists, if you will, are putting so much out there constantly, it's
Yeah.
the easiest thing to attack and
Yeah,
manipulate.
easiest
Of course.
target. Yeah,
Easiest
yeah,
target.
yeah,
So
Well,
it's
it's
like,
so out there as well, right?
yeah, that's why Facebook comment sections are blowing up. And then I'm like, how much fucking time do you have to fucking be like, you know what? My cousin from Tennessee commented on my photo, so I spent 9 hours arguing with this guy. It's like, brother, you haven't gone on the phone with your cousin or
Yeah.
seen them for 20 years. Who cares what they said about your fucking backdrop? Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
I mean, if you're getting into that space, you really can't give a fuck what people are gonna say. You really can't.
I'm sweating now.
Good,
Well,
get
it's
a sweating.
ultimately it's a freedom of speech thing, and like
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, he's a
Oh, I
fucking
love Jordan
killer when he
Peterson. Shout out
talks
Jordan
about freedom of
Peterson,
speech and that whole thing. And ultimately, freedom of speech is with freedom of speech comes the potential for some people to maybe feel attacked or offended. But if we don't say things, we'll never know what's offensive, what's not offensive.
Yeah.
So there just needs to be leeway and let people speak and say what they want to say, because the fucking world's we're going in a very bad direction right now.
Yeah, well,
A
and that's why
horrible-
I feel like the pendulum's going to swing back and level out a bit, because there's so many new areas we're in. Erase the pandemic for a second, but like on top of that, like the transgendered in sports and things like this are very new to
Yeah.
society. So it's like
course.
we're navigating that. So
Yeah.
that's sort of why you're getting all this blow up in either direction of that. And fuck,
It just
it's
feels like everything's happening at the same fucking time.
it
man.
is legit. Well, there's just so many things. And
Yeah.
it's like back in the day, you try to tell your nonna that like you can play this CD and listen
Yeah.
to all your fucking greatest hits. She's
Oh,
like,
she's
what are
like,
you talking about?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm good with my fucking
Yeah, you're a fucking
my
wizard,
record
yeah.
player. Yeah, I don't understand that. I'm good. Exactly.
Yeah, but I like what you're saying there. How exactly like when we step into new things and transgenders in sports and this and that, all these new things in politics and science come. People are gonna have opinions,
Yeah.
and you can't cancel someone for an opinion on something so new.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to a scenario that has been around for 100 years,
Yeah.
and you're saying some weird shit,
you got a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Or when something has been happening for 100 years and we're still doing the same shit about it,
You got a
like
problem.
the BLM stuff, it's like, okay, well,
Like even like probably 10 years ago, like I used to go watch Joe Avati with my whole family.
Nice.
Fucking what a fucking
He's
hilarious dude.
hilarious,
Yeah.
All he did was make fun of Italians, 2 Italians.
yeah.
They didn't care. They laughed.
Buddy, when I do...
You literally roast Italians to a stadium filled with Italians.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah.
I think that's unreal.
But that's gone.
great.
That's
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
Dude, I'm telling you, I do shows in Markham sometimes. It's like if I do the Asian accent in Markham, the Asians are laughing more than anybody.
Yeah.
it's like the people who are disrespected are not even the ones that would
Because
feel attacked.
they understand where it's coming from. And it's
Yeah.
like if you don't understand where it's coming from, you're just in the wrong place,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like don't go to the movies, don't consume entertainment,
Yeah.
consume it in your house,
Yeah.
write letters to the directors. I don't know, like waste your fucking time.
Yeah,
Life's
yeah,
too
yeah.
short for this shit.
I
Wait
know.
until fucking aliens come out
Oh.
on June 1st when they announce all this
Oh.
alien shit, bro. Religion's gonna collapse and then we're fucked.
Oh,
Yeah,
buddy.
we're done.
Yeah, there's gonna
We're
be a
done.
it's like
That's a scary time, bro.
we need that
I'm
common
down.
enemy though.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Then
Yeah.
you'll be roasting aliens by then.
And they're gonna be like, that's hilarious.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
We gotta get
You
him.
wanna
Go
come
pick him
perform
up.
over here?
On Mars?
Yeah.
That's
It's gonna be crazy when that
Yeah.
happens.
I
Like
mean, so much is changing, right?
I think the common enemy thing needs to happen. Like I don't know. Like I love fucking what's that movie called? Watchmen. Like where they're
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
he's like, I got to be the enemy for the universe, so
Yeah.
that they stick together and fight one thing. So it's like. I feel like an idiot even saying that, but like on June 1st, like if aliens show up and they'd be like, listen, we're gonna be like, let's clear some things up because you
Yeah.
guys are about to implode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
Oh, dude. At that point, we got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Well, we're imploding.
We're
currently
100%.
right now.
Yeah,
We
I'd
are
say so.
currently
Yeah.
imploding.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
We're currently imploding. And going back quickly to the thing where if you're doing the same thing forever and you're not making a change, fuck our government, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, because we've been doing the same damn thing for fucking 15, 16 months.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. I just wanted to make that point. I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
I
It's-
hate them.
I agree. I feel like they fucked it up and they're just not going to get voted in. Like that's why I'm doing. Doug's going to be voted out for sure.
Oh, he's
So-
down though. That guy's gonna take his
Yeah,
money
but the
and go
thing
to,
is,
go to his
bro,
cottage.
here's the thing.
There's people that still
Who do-
love
the thing-
Doug.
Let me say something.
A
For
lot of
sure.
people that still love
Who
Dougie.
are you gonna vote in? Kathleen Wynne?
No, that's what I mean. It's like
That's the other thing.
the whole government needs to be restructured. The whole education system needs to be restructured. Like
Yeah.
the way we operate on media and social, which, like you said, it's a fucking disaster, bro.
Everything,
So,
from
yeah.
every side of it, dude.
We need a reset.
Yeah.
Aliens are gonna show up. It's gonna happen.
Pull up, pull
Yeah,
up. We're
it's
waiting.
like hurry up, boys.
Yeah, straight
Fuck,
up.
man.
Show up and clear this shit up.
Okay, I'm curious. We'll step out of this topic for a second because, like I said, we'll
Aliens
get
is
deep and
too
start
much.
smashing. I love aliens.
We'll get you back here when the aliens get here, though.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But I'm curious. I want to go back to the comedy thing for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like, telling your family, like, hey, I'm going comedy. I'm taking comedy. Like, this is going to be my thing. Like, I'm not going to go fucking work construction, bro. I'm not going to catch me in the office.
Yeah.
What was that like from day one and now till this point?
Well, my nonna thinks I'm a clown. So my nonna thinks I'm a fucking I do balloons and shit.
Nice.
100
Nice.
because I don't know why Italy is so set back. Like when you go
Yeah.
there and you say comedian, like there's stand up and all that kind of stuff isn't really.
They don't know it yet.
Yeah, it's weird.
They're kind of behind in different aspects of
with like entertainment. It's
Yeah.
very strange. They're not like there is stand up there, like English speaking stand up,
Yeah.
but like
they're behind in entertainment.
Yeah.
They just started listening to Eminem like 2 months ago.
yeah, you're
That's-
like, dude,
I'm
what's
serious.
going? Yeah, I went there and talking to my aunts and stuff in Rome, and they're like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a comedian. They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, and I can't really speak Italian, so I'm like, Dad, get on the phone here, explain to these people.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you're like Totò, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Dude, Totò was like Charlie Chaplin
Yeah.
of Italy,
Holy
Yeah.
from the
fuck.
same era.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking mime.
Yeah.
Like, so they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like a stooge to them, like one of the three stooges. And the family was semi against it for a bit because they're like, well, how are you going to make money? Like, my dad's very finance, business driven. So
They
he's
just
like,
want you to be taken care of. That's
yeah.
it.
And then, once his friends started laughing about it and seeing me on videos and coming to shows and like, well, he's actually funny. He's like, okay, well then you got to make this entrepreneurial, have a business plan,
Yes.
build
course.
some success for yourself
Yeah.
financially. That's hence the corporate stuff and
Yeah.
having like a side business for that and stuff. And navigating small business fucking rules and shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't even get it, but he deals with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Nice.
my grandparents, they're just like, well, what are you doing this weekend? Maybe you can help your uncle pave a fucking neighborhood. Shout out to neighborhood. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, why not? Like, how do you make money? And like my uncles, they bust my balls. They're like, why don't you come? I'm building the fence
classic,
in Vaughan. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. And I'm like, dude, I'm not like. And then I go there, and his workers get mad at me because I'm like, you guys are lifers, like, and I'm like, fucking. I pretend I'm Mandela to these guys. I'm like, don't you want something better? Get out of this. Why like, you're gonna work for my uncle the rest of your life? You're an idiot. Like you're a smart guy. Do other things. They're like, it's done for me, man. I'm like, you're 40, dude. What are you? You know? And I'm like, I can't get locked into that, and I can't be a lifer. I'm a fucking dude. And your back hurts all the time, and your hands. I'm like, it's not for me. So.
Were you doing that before? Were you
yeah, like every summer, like, you know, you go fucking cut grass for the summer, or do landscaping, construction. Like every one of my uncles or, you know, mom's cousins, they all have a business of some sort in that. So
you tried it. You were like, okay,
like for summers, like comedy in the summers would be dead. It's like even until like, you know, from April to November, you can be doing shit or snow plow in the winter. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it and do the shit at nights. But then, dude, you're at the yard
dead.
at 5. You get home at 6. I gotta go to make you laugh at 9. Like I can't.
It ain't it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not
and
happening.
your steel toes,
yeah. So like, you know, I tried to do it here and there, quick cash if I'm hurting or whatever, because comedy's it's very up and down in terms of income. So it's like, you know, you fit it in where you can, but. Otherwise, it took a long time for them to be like, we support this dream. And, you know, you kind of have to keep proving them that you're funny and, like, they see the potential and they go, okay, we see why you're doing this and so on, you know?
You have to remember, they're not up with the times as you are, right? Like, they don't know how important posting a video on Instagram is or like
exactly.
Well, it's that, and I feel like also timelines are different. Like, bro, my parents were married at 20, by 25, 2 kids, like whatever,
for
right?
sure.
Where it's like, dude, 30s are the new 20s now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Having to explain to my grandparents, inflation alone is a big problem. But like just being like, listen, the gap between them and us, I don't think is going to be bigger in generations. Like when our parents, the boomers, and like our kids per se, they're going to be closer.
Yeah.
Than because they were seeing the car being invented to like fucking, I can show you pictures of your hometown through a satellite. They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they're
They're
tripping
like, that's
out.
my driveway there. You're like, it is. Holy shit.
They bought their house for like 10 grand.
Dude.
10 grand.
That's why didn't you move out?
Why don't you buy a house? Why don't you buy something nice?
Yeah.
Back when my grandfather and grandmother came here, my grandfather did plumbing. They had a house bigger than this office, 3 floors, on 1 income, and cars and vacations, 4 kids, no problem, on 1 income.
Yeah.
Now, forget about it.
But then because I talk to my grandfather all the time too, right? I'm like, listen, inflation is not matching up with what the raise in price is going. He's like, no, it is. I'm like, you bought everything.
Fired up.
Everything.
I get
$10,000.
I told my mom the same thing.
She's like, oh, but I was getting paid 50 cents an hour. I'm like, it still makes better sense that way. It still makes more sense that way, right?
But they're never gonna. I was washing dishes at a restaurant in Yorkdale for $2 an hour.
Then I walked 5 kilometers to my second job and then made $3 in a day.
I'm like, but you bought your house for $10,000, and it wasn't just a house; it was a massive piece of land too. Besides just that, you know, whatever, like all these things, like a fucking can of Coke costed 3 cents.
Yeah, they take it as a personal jab.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean I didn't work
It's harder
hard?
now. Exactly. They're trying to make it seem like it's harder now.
They're like,
right?
oh, you guys got the phone, the computer. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because so many fucking people have it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I was even watching something the other day where it's like, especially when like a lot of Italians and immigrants came to Canada in, you know, the 60s, 50s, 60s, whatever, a lot of the big industries were untouched. So you could go and open a fucking steel manufacturer. You could go open a fucking massive plumbing company, a concrete company,
and
be the only one. So when you did that, you had, you know, very little competition. Next thing you were doing every driveway in Toronto. You were fucking building every house in fucking Woodbridge, right? So they'll never get it.
What do you think built all that skyline over there? That skyline was built from our grandparents' age, right?
Never mind. Now you better believe it. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's tough. So then I every time we talk to creatives or anybody in the creative field, like comedy, right? We see it. We know how tough it is.
Yeah.
Adding in all those extra factors, right? Yep. So it's tough, and I think that's something where it's like to see someone like yourself commenting, you're doing well, right? You're doing your thing. It's a motivation for people to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I can take this dream and run with it.
Yeah,
there are ups, there are downs, but
McGregor was talking about that the other day, where he's like, if you don't give it 100%, you're like, you know, falling short of the people that believe in you, kind of thing.
I saw that one.
I was like, oh, that's true. That's nice. Yeah. I always give my grandparents the fucking burger comparison. Yeah. Because he's like, you know, I used to make 30 cents an hour. I'm like, and how much was a Big Mac at the time? He's like, I'm in like a 5 cents. I'm like, okay. So minimum wage is not $15, and a Big Mac combo is $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
And it's like, what-
that's a good way to put it.
Damn.
yeah. I'm
Love
like, I
that.
have to work an hour for my lunch.
Yeah.
And I have to fucking have a short lunch
Yeah.
to get back to work to get more hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
to
like
make sure
Get more lunch.
yeah, it's like you could just live your 9 to 5 and have a very good life and income and afford it.
A great life.
Yeah, we can.
A great life.
I have
Yeah.
to work 40 jobs and 9 lifetimes.
Just to pay my phone bill.
Yeah, exactly. Just to be like, hey, Dad, what do you think? You want to co-sign on this loan with me so I can get a house? Like, dude, I had to do that with my fucking dad. I was like, okay, I need co-signers.
Yeah.
Asked my grandmother to be a co-signer. She's like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to trust you with my money. No chance. And I'm like, yeah, but I need to live and thrive.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't understand how you guys are going to do it. She gets all emotional. She's like,
Yeah.
Even what they demand now for you to get that kind of stuff is so much harder than what they had to do.
exactly.
Like I said,
Tell the
man.
bank I'll be back. They're like, okay, sweet, thanks.
Yeah, but if you want to
Yeah.
go get a loan for school, they'll give it to you with their eyes closed.
Yeah. It's fucked.
Tool.
Yeah,
Tool.
yeah.
Spit.
We're in a crazy time, dude. We're in like one of the most in crazy times come great opportunity as well. There you know, you can say that. But yeah, you can't overlook how tough it is for anybody in today's day. Like you said, bro, $15, you literally can't even buy a Big Mac with
Soon
an
it's gonna be
hour's
50
worth
bucks.
of work.
One-
One,
50
one
bucks for a
big
Kit
thing we're
Kat.
forgetting about, the taxes bend you over nowadays compared to when they were alive.
Oh,
there was
yeah.
no income tax. There was a lot less taxes.
Yeah.
Oh no, capital gains wasn't
Yeah,
there.
all-
Land transfer, bro. You buy a house, then you
You
also got to pay an
just
extra $40K to make sure that we can transfer the land.
You used to
Get
buy
the
a piece
fuck
of
out
land,
here.
just stand on it, and it's yours now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give the guy the money, and it's yours now.
Yeah, it's going to be like, unfortunately, I've told my grandparents this. I'm like, when you guys die, it's going to be the best thing that's ever happened. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm just saying your whole generation needs to go. So then the generational like wealth transfer can happen. So then all your money and assets
Comes
can
to
go
us.
to us and our parents so that we can actually live.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
like,
a normal fucking life.
yeah.
Which is sad that it has to get to that. Very
Yeah.
sad. But
Dude, I always
they're making
love
it impossible.
My grandfather didn't know what YouTube was, so I explained it to him, and he ended up spending like 3 weeks watching like Shania Twain music videos because he loves her. But he's like, holy shit, she's a beauty, that cheetah suit. You know what I mean? And just does this all the time. But
Just
whatever.
one of those, yeah.
He's like, holy, you know. But I was telling him, I'm like, she's like, what do you mean you could make money on this stuff? I'm like, here's my phone. I want you to film yourself making pizza, edit it, and post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
She types, right? And I've taught her how to use everything, iPads, whatever, both
Amazing.
of them, right? I get there, she's like, I don't know why I tried to send a Graziella an email. I don't know what happened. It doesn't go. She types the whole email in the Google search bar. The search bar was like fucking
No.
boom. It took her all day. I'm like, okay, first of all, we're gonna erase this. I'm like, what do you want to say? And she's telling me, and I'm fucking. She's like,
Yeah.
I never seen the fingers move so fast. Oh, how do you know what the things are? I gotta, you know. And I'm
Yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I can't fucking level the driveway,
Yeah.
and you can't fucking do
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
online. Like, you know,
Which
it's
you would
just-
think is easier, but
yeah, it's like.
Generations though, it's
Yeah.
just different. It's different.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
grandfather was fucking waterproofing the house. So like, I pull in the driveway, and like all I see is his hat level with the driveway. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? That? I'm like, you did this all today? He's like, yeah, you could learn a few things coming with me. I'm like, yeah, and you could learn how to fucking make a phone call if you came out with me,
Send a
right?
text message. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So it's like it's just different worlds,
Of course.
so close together, right?
Yeah.
So,
But it's funny. It's funny when you teach them because I just taught my nonna how to use Facebook.
yeah,
And now she's like, I'm gonna cancel cable. I don't even watch TV anymore. I'm on Facebook now.
Yeah.
There's so much going. There's so much over here. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to the world. You used to laugh at me and you look at your phone. And what do you think I was doing? I was learning how to do this. Now I can do it 10 times better than you can.
Yeah.
100
well,
times.
that's one thing you can cancel is cable. I'll tell you that
Cancel
much.
cable.
legit,
Cancel
yeah,
cable.
cancel cable. Fuck, what are we doing?
That's
Cancel
one thing
cable.
we can cancel.
Yeah.
Cancel fucking cable. Cancel
I
bell.
went to visit them the other day, and they were both in the same room on 2 different iPads. He's playing chess against a robot, and my nonna's doing like a word search. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she's like, I love this game.
Then they love it. Then they end up loving it.
Yeah, I'm like, you're toddlers.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They
It's
are.
fucked
They
up.
like-
Like
yeah.
in terms of like technology,
Yeah.
it's
The
crazy.
baby. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's like, here's a game. Shut up. Go to, you know, which
That's
is
how they are
awful
now.
to say, but
Okay, listen, man. I got a question for you.
yeah,
okay?
yeah. Hit me.
We're the Money Buys Happiness podcast. When you hear Money Buys Happiness, what comes to mind? What do you think?
You know what's funny? I was actually gonna ask you guys that same question, being like, why is it called that? And do you think that? So I'm curious to know your answers. Do I think I'm about to quote Steve Harvey out of all fucking people.
Nice.
But he
Okay.
was talking about, he's like, it doesn't buy happiness, but it gives you the opportunity to make other people happy and like make things easier and stuff. So I do think that it can help you, but I don't think, because I just know so many people who are rich and are depressed as fuck.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I don't think that with all the money in the bank, you'll be happy. I think there's it will give you the opportunity to do what you like and love and have some sort of life fulfillment. So I think there's
like a financial freedom kind of thing.
Yeah, and because we live in a society just literally built on how money works, I think that there's a little bit of a truth to money buys happiness, because people are like, okay, well then I can go on vacation, I can this, I can that, right? But then you go home and go, well, fuck, now what? I'm nothing, I'm a nobody, right? So it's got to be a good balance. I think there's a balance.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
What do you think? Yeah,
I mean, I think it's a tool, and we said this all the time too. I just think it's a tool to your happiness. You have to use it wisely.
Yeah.
And it's something that just emphasizes your character, right? Like, we always say, but if you're a douchebag that's rich, you'll still be a douchebag.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
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 You know, if you're a douchebag with $10, you'll be a douchebag with 10 million bucks.
Yeah,
It's the same
exactly.
thing. But it's a tool, and I think then if you circle back to what we were just saying, like, yeah, like the society we live in, it's money driven.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it becomes
than
true.
ever, I think.
That's
More
where it
than
becomes
ever,
true, because bro, we can't even buy a house, bro. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
A fucking Big Mac that gives you maybe 10 minutes of satisfaction.
Yeah.
If it takes you that long to eat one, it doesn't take me that long.
No, I'm quick with
sits
it.
in your stomach for 90 years.
90 years, but it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's where it starts to fit in with society.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we chose the name. I don't know. We chose it kind of for clickbait and just to be like pricks, which is usually what we do.
It's like, oh my
It's
god,
a
what are
troll.
these guys saying?
It's
What
sort
the
of a
fuck?
troll thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like it started. Our podcast started very business focused. Now has transitioned into just being more lifestyle, free flowing
For sure,
conversation. But that's where it started. And when he buys happiness, we just wanted people to kind of be like offended by it.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
I find it funny that like that older generation, I keep talking about my grandparents for fuck's sakes.
No, it's good.
But like they have all the money in the world and they don't do nothing.
Yeah.
They do
What am I
nothing.
going to go? What for? Why am I going to
Yeah.
go there? I've been there. I'm just like, and then they're on their deathbed. Like one of my nonnas passed away a couple years ago. She's like, I wish I could have gone here. I wish I one day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you legitimately could have.
Yeah.
And you didn't. Why?
Yeah.
Well, too much work. It's like, it's a mindset
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is
Right?
mindset.
So it's like, if you don't have the right mindset, like you
Yeah.
say, you're going to be a dick regardless.
That's my
you know?
grandmother. Yeah, my grandmother says all the time. She's like, "Oh yeah, they should, has all this money in the bank, whatever. Sees me go on a trip, do this, buy that, buy this.
Must
I'm like, I don't
be
give a shit.
nice.
It makes me happy. Oh, it must be nice. Oh, you waste your money. I'm like, no, it makes making me happy. And if
Yeah.
I could die tomorrow, and I'd rather have $0 in my bank account and all the things that I liked and enjoyed and done all the things I enjoyed than having 100 mil in the bank, die tomorrow, and I did
Yeah.
nothing.
And dude, they don't get that. It's like they go to fucking like what 5 funerals a week at this
Yeah.
point, and they see
Yeah.
their friends die. They talk to people on deathbeds daily. Like I
Yeah.
talked to two people on their deathbeds enough to know that it's like
Yeah, it's enough.
if I
It's
died
It's like
today,
an old
it's been
school
great.
thing,
yeah.
bro. It's like, I don't know whether they feel like guilty for enjoying their lives after. Like, I don't. It's
weird, yeah.
I think it's a war thing. I don't like if
Like they don't even want to be
Holy
happy.
crap.
Like they want to be happy, but they don't even feel like they deserve it at that. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I feel like
It could
it's
be
like
so much shit.
they need that net of money just in case like a war happens or something where like
That's
so
when you know they've seen way too much. If that's what they're
legit,
saving up
and, like
for.
fuck. But when you hear those war stories, you're like,
Oh, yeah,
you're
you're eating
traumatized.
potatoes in a cave for
They've
like
seen
8
different
months.
shit.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So when they finally get the money, they're like, I'm not doing nothing with this shit. This
Yeah.
shit's staying right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mental health. That's what it is with them. They never addressed
No.
any traumas.
Never.
No.
Nothing.
Never.
No.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Like,
true.
facts.
you want to address it? Have a shot with me. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, here we go.
You're a
We'll
drunk.
start it out.
Got it.
Got
Yeah.
some beers.
Yeah.
Get the beers out.
Yeah.
Get the vino. Get the homemade vino.
Yeah. Nono's crying by the fireplace again. It's
Mom,
fucked.
Nono's crying again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
fuck.
Listen, where can everyone find you, bro?
At Not Marc Anthony across all platforms.
Guys, hold on. This is Marc Anthony, by the way.
Yeah, Marc Anthony. Find me at Not Marc Anthony. New couple YouTube channels, Marc Anthony TV and Mark and Austin for some new sketch stuff.
Nope.
And that's that.
We're
Yeah,
gonna see some Dougie stuff soon.
some Dougie stuff. Yeah, we
Good.
got one coming out with Jag Meat Sing in there. So
Unreal.
that's funny. Yeah, it's
We'll
gonna
be
be great.
Pumped to
excited.
see it. We're gonna keep tabs on you.
Yeah,
Get
that'd
you
be
back
great.
here.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Recircle what's going on in the world. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't even know.
Aliens,
I don't even
baby.
know. I don't even know what I'm hopeful for at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Gotta
Appreciate
stay
you
positive.
coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Yeah,
in the
it's been
neighborhood, bro. I love
Yeah.
that.
Come
Thank
back
you.
soon, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We
Appreciate
out.
it. It's been good. Dean,
We out.
let's get it.